Already gotten to learning about the percent of a number. That's awesome. You're doing a really good job this year. Percent of a number is one of the most relevant topics that you'll learn about in math. We use this all the time, especially if you like to go shopping. It's really, really important. And you've probably already figured out by doing your 2 investigation steps that it's actually really, really easy. All right. There are 2 ways that you can find the percent of a number, and I'll focus on maybe one of them, but I want you to know both. I always like to give you more information and let you choose what the best way is for you. The easiest way is what we have written here already, is to change the percent to a decimal, which you already know how to do. Okay, so for example, let's write down a percent, like if it was 70%. You know to drop the percent sign and move the decimal to the right, or to the left, 2 places. Okay, so it becomes 0.7. Okay, we go from P to D. That is one way. Or if you prefer, you can always change to a fraction. Okay, you can change percent to fraction. Okay, either way. Personally, I think multiplying by decimals is easier. It's just less work, but you can change to fractions if you prefer fractions, and that would be 7/10. Okay, so you have two options there. Once you have your number, your decimal or your fraction, you multiply the decimal or the fraction by the numbers. So let's say it was 70% off. So let's say the question was find 70% of 300. Okay, you would take and you would do 0.7 times 300 to get your answer, or 7/10 times 300, which you can do pretty easily. You can put 300 over 1, cross simplify, of course, and you would end up with 210, or this is also 210. Okay, so that's really easy, right? Hopefully you thought so too. All right, let's go do some example. Okay, so let's find 5% of 300. Okay, 5% is very small. So the first step is we want to convert to either decimal or fraction. Okay, so let's do that. Convert to decimal or fraction, your choice. Okay, when we convert to a decimal, do not forget it's always 2 spaces. So move decimal 2 spaces. That's the biggest mistake people make, is they move it only 1 space, and you would end up thinking it was 0.5, and it has to be 0.05 or 5/100. Those are your choices. And then multiply times 300, and that is very easily 5/100 times 300 over 1, cross simplify, right? 100 goes into 300 3 times, and it equals 15. Okay, or 0.05 times 300 on your calculator equals 15. Okay, so either way, your choice, which way you like to do it. If you have a calculator handy, decimals are easy. If you don't, you might want to do the fractions with cross simplifying. Okay, now let's find 120% of 75. Okay, now this is a little bit harder because 120% is more than 100%. It's going to be bigger. Your answer is going to be bigger than the number, and that seems a little bit weird. Okay, so 120%, if we convert it to decimal, 120% equals 1.2, or 120 over 100, which simplifies down to, you can put it at 12 over 10, which also simplifies down to 6 over 5. Okay, either way, you decide, and then we're going to multiply that out. So either 6 over 5 times 75, which equals, cross that out, and we get 6 times 15 equals 90, or 1.2 times 75 equals 90. Pretty easy, right? Okay, let's do a couple more I think this is probably one of the easiest topics that you'll do all year, and you wonder, why are we doing this really easy when at the end of the year we should have done this earlier, right? But we had to get a lot of skills before we could do this. We had to know how to multiply decimals, we had to know how to convert decimals into percents, multiply fractions. Lots of skills came before this, which is what makes it so easy now. Okay, so let's add a page and do a couple more examples. I'd like you to find 150% of 20. Okay, so we would turn this into either a decimal, 1.5 times 20, or 150 over 100, which simplifies down to 15 over 10, or 5 goes into 15 3 times, 3 over 2, okay, and then we multiply 3 over 2 times 20, or 1.5 times 20, okay, 2 goes into 20 10 times, and 10 times 3 is 30, so 150% of 20 is 30, which makes sense. It's 1.5 or 1.5 times the number. It's going to be bigger. Okay, let's add another example. Let's do, how about you go to the store and you see that the shirt you want is 20% off. Okay, so it's going to be 20% off. 20% off a shirt that costs $14.99. Okay, we want to know how much off are we going to get. So we do 0.2 times $14.99. In this case, because you have a decimal that you're going to be in your price, you probably just wanted to convert your percent to a decimal, because decimal times decimal is a lot easier than trying to do a fraction times a decimal. So let's go ahead and calculate that out. And if I multiply 0.2 times $14.99, I get $2.99. It's actually $2.998, which I would just round to $3. So we will save $3 on the shirt. Okay, that's how percents are important, is that we want to know what our savings is going to be. And then if I asked you what the actual price of the shirt will be, it'll be $14.99 minus $3. So you're going to end up spending about $11.99. All right, that's pretty much it for this lesson. It's that easy. So good luck with all your practice and checkpoint, and I think you'll do awesome. Bye for now.